Hey, what's going on, everybody? Uh, just smacking my own self in the head because I just recorded this video about 10 minutes ago, and I went to play it back, and there was no audio to it. The mic wasn't even recording. So hopefully, when I play this one back, it's actually working. Uh, but yeah, I hope you guys all had a green day. In the markets, it was definitely an exciting one to trade. Bunch of opportunity out there. But before I kind of get into my trades, let me tell you why I was already bullish coming into it. Um, so before the CPI data release this morning, yesterday, I was already having my own personal bullish sentiment because of I was spending some time reading retail earnings reports, right? And the common theme was the consumer weakness and consumer aren't spending as much in fast food restaurants and certain restaurants, and other than Chipotle, right? They're data inflation proof, but um, even like big retail stores, Walmart, Target, they were kind of all showing signs that consumers are starting to pull back, or they're looking for the lower price items. Even higher income shoppers are starting to look into, the lower income stores, right? So all this kind of adds up to me is if there's consumer weakness and there's a lack of spending, that generally goes in favor of what the Fed is trying to do, right? They want to slow down the economy without causing a recession, so they wanted people to stop spending money. An overtone that they kept saying was throughout the first quarter of this year was the consumer resilience, right? Is we might be getting slower wage growth, but people were still spending money, so it kind of perpetuates inflation, right? Like, why should retailers lower the prices if people are okay spending it? Um, but yeah, with that, and on top of kind of the tone, the dovish tone of Jerome Powell the other day, kind of hinted at that CPI data is probably going to come in lower, if not as expected. If not, he kind of had an opportunity to be a little bit more hawkish without giving it away, right? But he didn't. So with that, I kind of reinforced, like I said, reinforced my bias to be bullish. And this is my, I think, third or fourth time trading the CPI. So I understood the amount of volatility that could come into the market based off of that decision. Um, so I kind of was prepared for that, right? It might be an overreaction to the upside or downside, but it generally doesn't sell off all day or go up all day, right? In rare occasions, but there's going to be some type of opportunity to go in either direction. Just have to wait for it to present itself. And so, with that, that's generally my game plan. I was waiting for either the first pullback from the run up, um, or an entry after the first sell off, right? So, this is a 1 minute chart. Um, So as you see, once they opened, we kind of spiked up, showed some weakness right here. We couldn't break this little top. Sold off, so I was still waiting. And then once I kind of seen this formation, I was like, look, we're probably gonna front run this. We already got good data, momentum. Um, I tried to front run the break of the of this wedge right before I had this trend line drawn. I was playing the candle. I was thinking, this is a good recovery move. Um, every little dip's being bought. We're above VWAP and the 5-day moving average. We're probably going to go for my clear sky breakout right now, retest 450. I was already expecting, or anticipating, I should say, price to at least test 450 or 441. That was generally my daily range. Um, how I came to that conclusion was 441 was yesterday's bottom range. 450 was going to be like the 2 sigma move out of yesterday's higher range of 446. We didn't test that yesterday. We kind of consolidated throughout the day. So I was already thinking if we get good news, good momentum, we're gonna test the all-time highs, and this thing could really rip. But yeah, like I said, first entry I got in after this move, maybe because the first pullback got bought up, and knowing that we're also in positive gamma territory, right, in a positive gamma environment, large sellers buy the dips, sell the rips, right? So dip gets bought right there. I think 5 contracts. Tried to front run the break after I got bullish confirmation with both averages, VWAP. Got faked out, sold off. Right. I don't have a hard stop. I use mental stops for the most part. Um, but once it started selling off, it got below VWAP. I noticed that double top trend, right? So I drew this trend line, and I got patient. Um, Definitely wasn't expecting price to pull back this far, but I did anticipate if this was going to be a real sell-off, we're going to test yesterday's high of the range, and that's where I would look um, for a breakdown and entry short, pull back to the bottom of yesterday's range. But it's the fact that we went sideways, got bought up right here on this push, I entered again. Um, Same overall contract, right? I just added to this position. And my reason for doing so is a strategy I like to use is if I ever get in early at, like, let's say a high average, but I still have high conviction and the chart starting to present itself as going in the favor of my initial, let's say, expectation, I will just dollar cost swing. And what I mean that is, let's say this overall position had a average cost of 40 cents, right? As price is going down, I just bought 10 contracts here, lowered my average. But how I view it is I'll swing this position because it's really at a zero sum, right? So if it goes up in my favor, I am now in the money on my second entry. Um, so in theory, I would just swing those 10 contracts and buy more, lowering my overall average while slowly taking some gains. Um, so back to it. Once price, I seen this bull flag, right? I was like juicy. Um, I said this might be the breakout. We broke out of here, kind of followed the 5 MA, so I just waited. We dipped and then touched the VWAP, so I entered again. This is when I entered 20 contracts, and then I got my average price from like 40, I think, to 21. And at the time, the price was trading at like 20, 20, 21. It's going up and down. So I was like, pretty deep in the money if this goes up in my favor. I generally don't trade with that much size, but I'm trying to work on sizing when I see opportunity. Um, so that's why I kind of got out quick right here. We broke through, got instant rejection, so I sold. Look at this candle. That's a reversal candle, right? A lot of momentum, instant rejection, boom. Kind of sold off, but I held. We broke above again, showed a little weakness. I got out, just playing it safe. Once we broke the trend line, I was like, I'm not gonna allow this to pick up momentum faster than I can sell. Exited right here, and on my final exit was this one I really got shook. Right, I was like, I'm already up like 100%. I gotta go for the day. I don't want to hold this, even though I do, but I'm gonna just call it a day. And I entered on the breaks. I really thought this was gonna be a VWAP retest, and it didn't. Right, as you all know, I'm sure, price freaking skyrocketed to 453. I was playing the 451 contracts. So yeah, so that would have been a huge day. But I am thankful for the overall 16% overall account growth I got off of this trade. I think the position was overall at like 100%. Even after getting in early. But like I said, sometimes, that's the strategy. Instead of cutting my losses, that's what I like to do. I like to dollar cost swing. But yeah, overall great day. On the Qs, this right here is a trend day. That's why you don't short when it's following a trend like that, because generally the risk to reward isn't there unless you're trading with a lot of size and you're quick. But I can go into like trend days and stuff like that another time or video if you have questions on that. But yeah, I hope this helps. If you have any questions on my strategies or trades or anything else like that, just shoot me a message or let me know in the comments. All right, yo.